Yo, Crawl here. We left off in the first video where we have or had a play and a stop command. We still have it, so it's not really a had, but you get what I mean. We are gonna take we're maybe gonna speed this up a little bit. Actually, we're gonna slow this down a little bit, I think, because I was very fast in the last video about creating all of that stuff. I hope you could follow it. It's super basic, you know, getting permissions of the client in that specific channel here, for example, or try catching the join, because it's a wait, so we cannot use then or catch correctly, so we're going to use a try and catch. But aside from that, everything should be like understandable, and you should have followed it without any issues. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to rewrite a bunch of that stuff here, because what we're going to do now is we're going to add queue support, and to do that we need to do one simple thing first. Below or above our client, it doesn't really matter. We are going to make a new constant and call it queue, and we make this a new map. A map is a key and value storage. The key and the value, we can put in anything as a key, we can put in anything as a value. Well, the key should be a string, preferably, but we can put in anything as value. And what we're going to do here is, in the play method, we need to rewrite a bunch of stuff. So first off, we're going to start off, and right below here in the arguments, we're going to do const server queue, because we need the queue of the server, equals queue.get message.guild.id. We're going to map this map. Sounds great, right? We're going to map this map by the guild ID, which is a string, unique, can only be in there once. After we did that, we have access to the server queue in every command of ours. Since this is a music bot only, it allows me to do that. If this would not be a music bot only, it would be a waste to always get the queue. But since this is a bot that does one thing and nothing else, we can do that. It's not an issue. The next thing we need to do is see how we're going to structure this whole this whole command, because we need to extract out the dispatcher, because we're going to make this recursive function that calls itself the whole time. But we're going to start off very simple. Before we join the voice channel, we're going to check like if there is a server queue, because this could potentially return undefined, because if the bot is not playing, there is no server queue. Like, there's no entry in the map. So if there is none, we need to make a queue construct. I'm just gonna call it like that. And in this queue construct, we're gonna save some values. One of them will be the text channel, which is the message channel. Another one will be the voice channel, which is going to be the voice channel, obviously. Then the connection, which will be null at the start. The songs is an empty array for now. The volume will be, we set it as 5, starting value. And playing is a boolean. What any of this does, I'm going to explain this while I go. So I'm just going through the thought process of everything. So you see what I'm thinking, or you hear what I'm thinking, and you see me coding in it, so you will understand as we go. The first thing we need to do after we have that construct, we need to set it in the queue. We said we're going to map it with the guild ID, and then we put in the queue construct. So this is now mapped with the guild ID, and the value is going to be this object here, which has the message channel and the voice channel and the connection and the songs and the volume and the playing for each and different guild. So this is already potentially working for many guilds. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to copy this and basically grab it in here, because we only want to join the voice channel if we don't have a server queue, because if we already have a server queue, we don't need to join the voice channel again, so we don't need to attempt this anymore. And after we're done with that, we're gonna have an else block here, because if there is already something, what we need to do is need to. I'm losing my red string. What I wanted to do. Fuck. I'm sorry. Oh, those F-bombs. I'm not gonna get rid of them. I'm very sorry. Yeah, we're just gonna do nothing for here now because we need to do something here real quick. So at the top here, obviously, we have the songs here, and when we join a voice channel in here, we just put in YouTube DL directly in it with the args, and we don't need to do that. We cannot do that anymore. So what we are going to do is we're going to use another await here. YouTube DL can return information. So we do song info, and then we do await YouTube DL.get info about args1. And what we can do then is we can construct another object literal here and put in the title, which would be songinfo.title, and the URL, which is the song.url right here with URL. There is other things here like prop URL and base URL. I'm not quite sure what those do. I think I need to log them to actually find out that we can actually do that though. Like let's just do that. Let's just do that here real quick. It's console.log song info dot URL base URL. I want to know what that base URL is right here. So we can actually already start that bot up again. Then go to Discord. Just use the play command. It doesn't really matter. And then we get undefined here. So apparently this is not a thing. Weird. I'm surprised. Like this should very well be a thing. Anyway. Yeah, you can see here it's undefined. So, well, apparently it doesn't help us out in any way. Anyway, now we have this here, and what we're going to do next is, after we set the value here, we're going to quConstruct.songs.push, and then we push the song in there, which is this object literal. So we push this into this songs array, and now we have access via the queue to the songs and the array and to the title and to the URL, which is all in that quConstruct, which is all in the map up top for each and every guild. After we did that, we also need to add our connection here, because I said the connection will be null at the beginning. So we do quConstruct.connection equals connection, as simple as that. And here's where our magic comes into play, because we need to extract this and we need to actually call play here. And what we can do here too, in the else block, we can do a server queue, because obviously we're not going to construct this because we already have one, because it's in the else block, right? Songs.push song. And then we can do, I don't know, message.channel.send. Let's just return here. And we could do song.title has been added to the queue, right? Down here we do return undefined. Just to get rid of all of that. So we're also gonna get rid of that here. So we're just gonna copy that out, I would say. And in here, we're going to call a function we're going to define somewhere around here. I'm just going to define it here, just for the sake of things being structured. I could also do it all the way to the top or all the way to the bottom, but yeah, you know what? No, we're calling it here, so it should actually, it should be above maybe. I don't know. Let's do it. Let's do it at the bottom, because we don't have any more events at the bottom. So we're going to create a function. We call this play. In this function, we're going to pass two arguments. The first one is going to be the guild. The second one is going to be the song. At the top, we're going to do server queue, because we don't have access to it yet. Queue.get, and then guild.id, because we're going to pass this in here. Then we're going to pass this block in here, and make sure this is properly indented. Now, we're going to have a few errors here. Like, obviously, we need to call server queue.connection. This whole args thing can disappear for now. We cannot leave the voice channel, because we need to do we need to do that in a different place. For the error will practically call the end event, so that we can just one-line this. For the dispatcher, this is fine, and I guess this is all we need for now. Now we need to call that function though, and I just said we can do this in here, in the try and catch block directly below. So we're gonna call play with the message.guild, because like I said, we're gonna pass the guild, and the queue construct, songs, and the first song. So the very first song we have in there, because this is what we want to play. After we pushed it, we want to play it. Now we have access to the song, which means we can do song YouTube.dl song.url, and this is it basically. But because this is recursively this is going to be recursive, otherwise our queue won't work. We need to do a bit of more extra work, because we are going, like, after the song ended, we want to call play again and pass in the guild that we got, and also pass in the server queue, not songs 0. So, but this would not work, because right now what this would do is would just replay one song over and over and over again. So above that, we need to do server queue that songs that shift to remove the first entry. So after the song is played, we cut it out, get the next song, call play again with the next song, and just keep on going. Now this will not work if there is no song anymore. It will try to attempt to play it with the song URL, and it will get an error because URL song is not defined. Song is an empty URL, empty array. Or no, not an empty array, an empty object. So what we need to do is, if there is no song, we need to server queue voice channel leave and delete the queue guild.id, because we don't need the queue anymore. If there's no songs, we can just delete the whole queue, and then we're just gonna return, so that we don't attempt to play another song here. After that, we have this, and this should already work as is. This should already work as a proper working queue, and we can also test this out. But there is one other thing that we need to do, because we have a queue system now. If we fail to join the voice channel, we should delete the queue too, because otherwise there would be, let's say someone queues up a song, the bot cannot join, then another guy queues up a song, but the bot actually can join now. What would happen is the bot would not join, because as we said here, voice channel join, we only do that if there is no server queue. If there is a server queue, we just push to the songs and say like, oh yeah, this has been added to this to the queue. So it will, obviously not work. And this is about it. This is all we need to do. We're gonna test this out real quick, because I'm not quite confident in it, but we'll make this work. So first song, put it in, wait for it to join, plays music. Good. Second song. Has been added to queue. We don't have any way currently, because I don't do any logging. We don't have any way to tell if it's really in the queue, right? So we need to do a bit of work here to display it, but we can just do that by console logging somewhere here, like here, for example, right? We can do here server queue console.log server queue.songs, right? And put it actually down here, otherwise it will error at us. So I'm not gonna show Discord because I'm just gonna call play again, and you will see as soon as it executes, you will see the server queue songs there. There we go, the first one. And if I add a second one, yeah, it won't display, obviously. Fuck. F-bomb! But like, it will be added to this. It won't be displayed though, because I would need to log this. Where is it? I would not need to log this here too. So we're gonna do this again, just so you guys see and you can follow what's actually happening. First song coming up, second song queuing up. There we go. Now we have an array of 2 songs. It's 2 of the same, but it doesn't really matter. It's 2 songs. The moment the first one stops, we're gonna shift. How are we gonna find out if this is actually working? Well, we're gonna make a skip command. So how are we gonna do that? This is probably the easiest command you can ever write. So to do else if, make a new block here. Put a new else in here. So message.content starts with prefix skip, because we want to skip a song. In here we need to check if there's a server queue. If there is one, we do server queue dot connection dispatcher, because there is a dispatcher on the connection, and we just call end. That's it. But to simplify this, you're gonna return a message.channel.send and say there is nothing playing that I could skip, that you could skip, that I could skip for you. How about this? And we need to reverse the statement right here, right? And then we can do this. Simple, right? I need to return undefined here though, otherwise it will scream at me. I need to return undefined here too. So, and now basically what it does is it calls end, which will trigger the end event here. Then it will shift the song, try to attempt the next playing song, go up here again, puts in everything, go down here, plays the next song. If I would call it again, it's like the stop command. It will try to attempt to play the song. It's an empty array, there's no song anymore. It will leave the voice channel, delete the queue. Simple stuff, right? So we're gonna test this out now. I'm going to add the first song. Okay, I'm going to add the second song. Okay. I'm going to skip a song. Song ended, next song is gonna start playing. And if I would attempt to skip it now again, song ended, but it's gonna leave the voice channel. So this also potentially means that we need to rewrite the stop command a bit, because the stop is gonna be doing nearly the same thing as the skip command. So what we're gonna do with the stop command is this check should also be up here, by the way. We're gonna check if there's a server queue. If there's no server queue, there's nothing playing that I could stop for you, I guess. And then what we're doing here is important, because we don't want to just call leave. We also don't want to really call dispatcher end, because it would just play the next song. but we are doing exactly that. But we're doing a bit of cheating here. So we're gonna call server queue.songs and assign it an empty array, and then we do server queue.connection.dispatcher. Yeah, disable everyone. Dispatcher.end. So we are basically overriding the songs of the current server queue to nothing, to an empty array, and then we call end. And what will happen is to trigger the end, it will try to attempt to play the next song, which you got here out of the server queue, and there will be no songs in it anymore, so it will stop playing. How we know if it's working? Well, you're gonna start it up again, paste in the first song, you will see it will have one array, one item in the array. We're gonna add a second item to the array. We're gonna call stop, song ended, and it's done. There's nothing more to play. So now we have two commands running. We have a queue system working, surprisingly already. And I think this is actually where I'm gonna end the episode, because this is already working. Oh, we can do something here too. We can do server queue dot volume, right? We could just do that, so it's dynamic in that sense if you ever decide to change it. So yeah, this is already working as is, and I think I'm gonna end the episode right here. So see you guys in the next episode, where we're gonna finish this whole thing.